Rory's what's in the bag here. So love this iconic little picture from Ryder Cup handful of years ago. Just Rory at his best in the team golf situation, shushing the crowd. Oh,
Man,
I
that putt was
that
insane.
so here's the bag. I always love showing it with the head covers before we actually get to the woods. I don't know if this is a the dog turn the other way for Rory. So he's of course TaylorMade staffer, gonna be heavy TaylorMade throughout the bag. Rory's a brand guy. He knows the importance of the brand. Rocking the TaylorMade Qi10 at nine or the 9 degree version at 8.25. You can kind of see it tick down on the neck there, going towards the lower loft. Playing the Fujikara Ventus Black 6X. Standard offering. We're seeing that quite a bit this year. It's been fun to see deviations away from this shaft. People still winning with other shafts, even though the Fujikara
Hmm.
wave has pretty much taken over.
Yep.
In the Taylor, the 3 wood and 5 wood, rocking the 15 and 18 degree with the Fujikara Ventus Black 8X and 9X here. Again, just standard stuff. Not rocking a hybrid, not rocking. Interesting that he's not in a long iron of any kind. I don't know. Rory's, he's amazing with the long irons. So it just kind of interesting that he doesn't play a two or 3 iron off the tee, but he's so accurate with driver and 3 wood. Maybe just not necessary, and that 5 wood is more of a going into the green club. What do you think?
Probably his 5 wood and a 2 iron are interchangeable for him. So remember last year at the Scottish Open when he hit that pure 2 iron into the green at 211 back into like a 3 or 4 club win. That was it. Had a little,
Yeah,
and but it had a graphite shaft in it though, so it was like a little driving iron. Really, just depends on the situation. Because I know when it gets into the summer and he gets into a little bit more of his European swing, where he's playing link style golf, just needs to get something on the ground and let it run out, and so that'll be back in the bag. But when he's over here stateside, a lot of parkland courses, a lot of woodline courses, carry is
yeah,
everything. I think that's going to be in the bag, and I think that's going to be something he can utilize, especially coming into greens and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the only deviation is that he's playing the Venice Black instead of the Venice Blue. But very little in it, very little difference in that from between the Venice Black and the Venice Blue. Pretty much the same thing. Just really, again, these players trying to find the right window to launch out of the trajectory and stuff that they want. But yeah, honestly, in the regular tour days, I mean, Rory is fine playing a 4 iron. He remember this dude hits his 4 iron like 240 on the fly. I mean, the dude is just he's
yeah.
strapped, and when you're
The
hitting it
yard the
flush,
yeah yeah the yardages are kind of out of this world. On the upper end of his bag. I mean, he
yeah.
said when he made the switch to the newest version of the ball, which we'll get to at the end, that he was able to gain an additional 10 yards just off the new ball.
Believable.
Could be marketing, could be just they've really optimized the ball. What do you think about that claim?
Um, we've talked about that off camera too. TaylorMade makes a really good ball. It's just poorly made. It's just
Good
it's just
performance,
the
just inconsistent out of the pack, out of the dozen.
exactly. Every time that I've played a TP5, I've been, very much surprised and very pleasantly surprised at that. The TP5 is essentially the ball that I would play, spin around the green, low spin off the tee, high launching, soft compression, everything that I would want. That's why I play the Bridgestone BXS, Tour BXS. That's also why I like the Pro V1X. It's soft enough, yet delivers the trajectory I want, delivers what I would
Yeah,
like off the tee, and still has enough spin around the green. But when I'm putting and hitting short shots and stuff like that, where I'm getting a compression and a squeeze out of it instead of a click where I'm feeling like I might be mishitting it. And I really like the TP5. It's just the cover is so trash. I mean, I feel like you hit 2 or 3 good shots or something like that, it's a scuff. You don't even have to hit the cart path, and the cover's almost off. Like it's just a lot of stuff like that that's
Hmm.
just super annoying. But other than that, I mean, it could very well be true. I mean, they're making a lot of good, advancements with the golf ball right now. That's why it's even
Yeah.
more agonizing that they're trying to do a ball roll back in 5 or so years. It's so stupid.
Yeah. Um, TaylorMade actually kind of aggravated me because they planted like a story about Rory's making this change to his golf ball, and all it was this printing of his roars on the ball. I was just like,
Yeah,
come on now, with the clickbaity type
corny.
article. Yeah, super corny, but and then he has the thin alignment line over the TP5X logo, which is interesting because when you zoom in on it, it's very imprecise, but looks like he's just going for the thinnest possible line that he can get, just as an aid to line up his putts. But yeah, Rory's
Hmm.
been on this ball for quite a bit. You know, so you go with what works, and if they're updating it and making it better year over year, then roll with it. Let's get into his
Definitely.
irons here. So Rory is like a just a glutton for prototype irons. I feel like he's not never played anything out of the TaylorMade just kind of generic iron lineup. He's always gone
Yeah,
with
there's
some
stock stuff.
version. Yeah, he's gone with some version of a prototype. So he's put this 4 iron in the bag earlier this year. Probably about a month or so ago, I want to say is when I initially saw the article on that 4 iron. I think it was around the time of the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Really nice club, cavity back, a lot of muscle, a lot of weighting on the bottom side of that club. Um, looking for some, specific characteristics. Again, this is very much in alignment with what he likes to see and probably a window that he's trying to hit. Like you said, he kills this club. So
Yeah.
his forehand is probably not necessarily the equivalent of somebody's driving iron, but he gets a heck of a lot out of it. Any comments on the 4 iron before I go on to the rest of the set?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, with the bottom and perimeter weighting of the club, probably playing at about 20 degrees, but when you got so much weight on the bottom, it's still going to launch like as if it's a 5 or 6. And, Rory doesn't need any help as far as getting the ball in the air or doing
No.
anything as far as flight goes. So honestly, it probably helps him keep the ball out of the air when he needs to be honest.
Yeah,
That's
light
a
it
really
down.
good looking club.
And then he's also rocking this prototype version of the irons. They have a lot of characteristics again of the TaylorMade. I think it's the 7TW. I forget I think it's P7TW, the Tiger Woods version of their irons. There's some additional kind of,
Hmm.
I want to say it's ribbing in the middle of the club. I think it's more from a design standpoint. I don't think it has any functionality. The
Yeah,
head does look
aesthetics.
slight. Yeah, it looks slightly more compact than the Tiger Woods iron, and we're talking
Hmm.
very slight. It's just a little more rounded on the toe than that other version. What do you think about this, man? Again, very much set up for Rory. Um, I don't know if there's much to say about a custom blade, but it is what it is.
I mean, I like it. I mean, honestly, it really pulls why a lot of people stick with TaylorMade or go to TaylorMade. The personalization is there. If you're a top-notch player, you're most likely getting your own irons or some type of resemblance of that. I mean, you gotta look at Colin Morikawa. Colin Morikawa has the seven M Collins or something like that. He has his own prototype iron set as well. It's the same type deal. You put your input in, you feed into what you've played your whole life and what you like to see down by the ball, and they're going to present it for you. And then they're going to put your name on it. So for me, as far as, being a brand guy, I could see why. I could see why. They doing everything I want them to do, and then they're putting my name on it. I love that. Yeah, I think this is a really good look for TaylorMade and for Rory. When it's all said and done, maybe he'll be able to, branch off just like a Tiger would, and maybe
Yeah.
not create his own clothing company, but maybe start his own line of like irons or wedges or something like that. there's always a niche for something like that in a game. And if you're coming and your standpoint is, I was a former player, I know how these things go, and I've also done the research on my tech. This is why I'm able to put out a Rory golf club. This is what
Yeah.
more McIlroy golf looks like, and this is the irons that we play at McIlroy golf. So I think it could be a good look for him right now
You
and
see a
down the line.
marketing opportunity. Yeah.
I mean, as a brand guy,
All
this is a
right.
perfect opportunity.
Yeah, we know Rory's about his coin. Let's get into these wedges here. So mainly rocking the TaylorMade MG4 lineup in the 46 in his pitching wedge, the 50,
Hmm.
and then the 54, and then the TaylorMade, excuse me, the Titleist Velky Wedge Works the at a 59, 58 bent to 59, and then playing the Project X 6.5. That's also another thing. Let me jump back really quick to the iron. So Project X guy, you're not seeing that really. I mean, they had their moment in the sun where they were pretty much in like a lot of pros bags, and then you know True Temper always kind of in the perimeter of things, and then KBS had its run as well, but you don't see a lot of Project X shafts, and so Rory's keeping that in both the full irons as well as the wedges. What are your thoughts on the shaft choice?
Never really played the Project X, so don't really know how it really feels or presents. But I know that the people that do play them swear by them, though. I mean, yeah, I mean, like you can't get them
when
out
you
of
were
it.
when you were fitting, did you put a lot of people into this shaft, or did it fit a lot of amateur? Do you think this is really a tailored for pros type of shaft, or do you think there's legitimate amateurs that can utilize this shaft and find use, or just their lineup per se, not necessarily this particular shaft?
I mean, I think a lot of players could play that shaft. I just think it's a little bit. I mean, I to me, it presents kind of like a true temper. The S300s that we used to play, to me, I just felt like it was a little bit too stiff for like the modern player. Not enough give in the stiff, but also too bendy in the regular. Um, I honestly was trying to put people in the Nippon shaft and the Modus shaft before it really had its little, little popularity, because I felt like their 115-gram shaft in stiff was a very good shaft for a lot of people in the neighborhood, because I mean it's a stiffer shaft, but yet it's lighter, so you can feel like you can swing it hard. You don't necessarily
Mm,
have to guide the club. You can still present enough club head speed to get it to do what you would like. So that's really what I was trying to gravitate towards. I wasn't even really a KBS head until Michael really was like, I play these C tapers, you should try them out. It was a nice little
mm-hmm.
window, a little bit too heavy for me, a little bit too hard. So I went and got myself fitted, and then I got the money tapers, and I got those in 120. Probably could have did 125 thinking about it now, but 120 is going to be great, and I'll find a way to make it present a little bit heavier than as
Yeah,
presented. But
I
yeah,
I do want to say one
Project
thing.
X is a good
I
job.
The Project X, and I don't know if this has always been the case or if they were bought out or had always been part of True Temper, but they actually are a True Temper product at this point. Again,
Hmm.
I probably need to go back and do a little bit of research before the comment section trolls or goblins come for us with corrections, but I just wanted to make that point that True Temper does produce the Project X shaft. Um, so I'd seen that a while back. One other thing I found interesting, and I was very intentional about presenting this particular angle of that 59 is that grind on the bottom of that wedge. That is a clearly a personalized grind, but you often don't see the soul of the club that flat. What are your thoughts on that, man? I think that's very pronounced in the way that that club has been ground down.
Yeah, I mean that's for all the shots around the green, essentially. Because, I mean, these guys don't need a 54 to come out of the bunker with. They don't need a 56. They're going to play their 58 or their 60 and be able to play the high floaty spinner. They're going to be able to chunk it a little bit and still have it come out soft and let it run out, do a chunk release and stuff like that. So I just think I mean, the K grind in itself is one of the most versatile grinds through Titleist Vokey, anyways, as it is. So I think that's what that's for. And I think, with him playing a very personalized style as far as the short game goes, that's probably what allowed him to hit that crazy shot on the Ryder Cup last year.
Hoping he's going to kind of release it with his hands just a little bit, kind of flick it at it. Oh! Incredible. Looks like he...
That
spinny
flop
checker.
spin. Yeah. So I think personalization is the best. And I think he knows himself so well that he knows that he doesn't really need a lot of bounce, or especially when he's using that club, the turf interaction is perfect for him. So yeah, I think that's a really good match.
Yeah. And then we'll move into the putter. We've already hit the ball. So, you know, TaylorMade Spider Tour X3 with the suit. I think you like this grip, the Super Stokes Energy Pistol Tour grip. Um, I mean, he's been able to sell Scotty Scheffler on this particular putter. So,
Yeah.
week to week, we're seeing the TaylorMade Spider in bags. We're seeing mallets become a lot more popular on the PGA Tour, more than they ever have. Again, why would you give up help, especially in the area of the game that makes you the money? Putting is where the money's made on the PGA Tour. Clearly, Rory has struggled with putting for several years. But I think since he's gone to the Spider, we've seen the most consistent version of Rory on the greens. Any
Yeah.
additional insight here?
I honestly think I like the way it presents because it gives you what it's trying to do immediately. It's got the long alignment line down the middle. It's got the
Mm-hmm.
gaps in the openings for you to let you know that these areas are hollowed out. We have a lot of perimeter weighting, so you see it on the heel and the toe. The meat is in the middle of the club where you're going to be hitting it out of a lot anyway. So I
Yeah.
think for a pro and players of his stature, I think this is the best looking putter that's going to provide help and forgiveness that they'll have. So, yeah, I definitely think it's a good look. And to me, I could never do it, but I love it. I love the look of it in your hand too. But yeah, I love the pistol grip. I play the Super Stroke pistol tour and everything besides one club, and I will be going back to that in that club as well. It's just what I'm most familiar with. Provides me
Yeah.
the most reception in my hands, and I know I can play different grips. Like I can go interlock putting grip, and it still feel good, just as good as if I were doing the reverse interlap with the forefinger down down the shaft. So I definitely feel like to me it's the best filling shaft. I mean
Yeah.
grip. I don't have the Zenergy one. It's in itself. The Zenergy line is new, but I do have the Pistol
Okay.
Tour Super Stroke, and I love it. So I
Yeah.
think
I
it's
can't.
just a feel thing as well. It's
I,
like
I'm
a
probably
certain
wrong.
tackiness or something to it.
Yeah, I'm probably wrong, but I think one of the ones we did earlier in the year, I want to say it was Jake Knapp that also kind of rocked this same grip, with the
Hmm.
same putter, but she had been tinkering quite a bit. So, um, it's definitely catching on online. The one thing that I probably want to put some more thought into and research is looking at the different neck options that are available to putters these days. This one caught my eye just because of the kind of forward leaning, where it looks like he's trying to keep the shaft ahead of the head of the putter, maybe get a little bit of shaft lean on it. It was just an interesting look, and you don't necessarily see this version of neck on putters very often. What are your thoughts on that?
That is my favorite neck. I like the
Okay.
seamless look that looks like it's going straight into it. This is what you would call like a single bend, I'm pretty sure. I mean, a lot of players play the plumber's neck, which is that hard cutoff and it goes
Yeah.
straight down to you. So it looks pretty much like it's offset. So for me, I feel like this is a little bit more streamlined into you, still playing like a little bit forward with the shaft lean, just so you're hitting it a little bit on the down. Because remember, I mean, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but putters have lofts too, and you can
Yeah.
play those certain lofts. So me personally, I play a 4 degree putter. I have mine a little bit stronger lofted and a little bit heavier. Just fits my game a little bit better as far as my backswing. I mean, a lot of players with the mallet usually play like either a double bend, which is a little bit more elongated, but it's the same, pretty much the same conclusion as a plumber's neck. It's essentially higher up on the shaft, out of the way of your visual cues, so that you're still just looking down at the putter and you'll still have that forward shaft lean automatically input into that putter head. So
Yeah.
you're right as far as exclusivity goes to, as far as like mallets with this shaft head and shaft input into the putter head, but that's amongst more premier players and more
Yeah.
elite players. That's a
Yeah.
very a common neck.
Cool. All right. So that's Rory's What's in the You get a Bag. lot of stuff out of this channel, y'all. A little business knowledge, a little technical golf knowledge, a little BS in here and there. You're in a well-rounded environment. So uh
Absolutely.
hit that subscribe button, hit that membership button. We got you covered on all things golf.